All right, guys, D'Angelo Duds here again. A little update on the rig that I'm putting together. You probably remember this funky bit of rubber on the other video I got from a washing machine. So I didn't know didn't know whether to go with an air filtration unit or some sort of decontamination type thing. But gone with an air filtration unit. So that's what it looks like at the minute. It's obviously it's got to be a bit more distressed and stuff like that. So eventually I will have a pipe coming out of the top, which will run over the shoulder of the rig. Not too sure about this piece just at the moment. I don't know why, but yeah, I just went with the flow. And obviously this rubber, I've got to try and, yeah, distress it, but not too much. So I've just spritzed a bit of white paint on it so then I can go over the top and do some stuff. Rubber's quite weird sometimes. If you don't clean the rubber properly, yeah, it's pretty tough to try and get paint to stick to it because it's, I don't know, it's some sort of weird natural sort of oily, I don't know. But anyway, so there's the filtration tank. Right, and what I've done with the actual back of the rig at the moment, you can see the molly loops, I've distressed them, but they're still functional, if you like. So people can add to their own story by adding bits onto it. There will be room for extra bits. This I've done just using sharp knife, belt sander, and a bit of fire to get that sort of effect on all these molly bits. I've done a little bit to the edging of the actual straps, but not too much because I don't want them to fail, if you like. So basically that will be there on your back, and this will be, I'm going to have it at like a bit of an angle, so I'm going to have to now work out how to secure that, which would be a combination of screws and washers from the other side, and then I'll put some sort of small strapping around it, like old leathery type belt stuff I can make into straps, that kind of thing. Distress them up first, obviously, and then add them on there so it gives you the illusion that it's actually strapped on and it's not secretly bolted from the back, so it just keeps it in position. But this is an old gauge of some sorts. I think it was like a tyre pressure gauge or something that you stick in. Don't know. Yeah, and I put some sort of imitation valves and that on it, just to, and I've used red just to make it pop a little bit. But this is going to be, yeah, I don't know. I just go with the flow with that. Once I've worked out how to secure this, it sits on your back nice and comfortable, and it's not being a bit of a hindrance. That might be a bit of a hindrance because it sticks out a bit too much. But I see how it goes. I kind of like it, but then I don't know. I won't know until I actually try it on and see if it's going to be a pain. But yeah, looks quite funky, doesn't it? With the that little rubber pipe. So yeah, I've got another piece of pipe. I don't know whether to attach. Not too sure. I could probably attach this so that actually goes over the shoulder piece, and then the pipe comes from that, if you like. But I don't know. I think it might be overkill, and I don't know whether to try and save that for another project. But that's the plan today, is to get this mounted. More stressing on the actual harness, a little bit of like colouring and that kind of stuff, and obviously this has got to be sorted before I attach it. I've done my favourite little thing to give that kind of a textured effect there, which would have to be done. So all of this is going to have to be sort of coloured. I don't like putting things on where the back's sort of like, do you know what I mean, unpainted and stuff like that, because even though you might not be able to see it, I will know it's not fully done, and it will just do me head in. So that's the plan, is to get this bad boy on this thing, and yeah, and then carry on with the build. I might have a small gauge pipe coming out of there first, going into a bigger pipe. I've got a few of these things which I've picked up. These are like the replica, you know, copies of the 40mm gas mask pipes, which I don't know which. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I like it. These are really light, and it also gives you the option, because this is the piece which actually screw into a gas mask, or it will fit the standard 40mm filter thing. I'm pretty sure, yeah, I've got a couple of those things here, but I don't really like using these because, depending on the age, some of these things are full of asbestos, and if anyone tries to, yeah, I don't know. But these aren't though, these are quite modern, but you know, that's how that would have fitted. So I'm not too sure yet, but it gives you the option, if someone has a gas mask, they can actually just screw it onto the end, and yeah, so that's the plan for that at the moment. Oh, sorry, it's this end, isn't it, that goes into the gas mask? That goes to the filter. That's right. Yeah, so that end will be dangling on the other side, just to give them the option to, yeah, you know what I'm saying, I guess. So yeah, that's the plan today. I'm just waiting for my workshop to heat up. I've had the heating off a bit because it's rather nippy here down in the sort of southy end of the country. Right, so that's about it at the moment, and yeah, I'll give you an update once I've decorated this, made this look good, like worn, old, you know, used, and then yeah, I'm waffling. I'll see you later. Right, with these, I painted them white, which is a bit, you might be thinking that's a bit weird, just painting these things white, but when you add a bit of that graphite to it, let me just, where's my little graphite brush? That's it there. Right. And then rub that in. Yeah. I get a bit closer to the camera. That's the white one. And then that's, you can tell the difference now, can you? But there we go. This gives it more of a metal look with the white. It's quite because this sort of plastic as well is hard to get fit unless you really prep it properly. You ain't going to get paint to stick to it. Can you actually see the difference with that? I don't know. Just add a bit more on there. And rub that in. And the more you rub this stuff, yeah, I can see the difference right now, but I won't know if I take this to the editing thing. But it gives it a more natural kind of alloy kind of vibe to it. So it saves, yeah, it's quick and it saves and you get a good effect from it in real time. But yeah, let's see if I can do this bit here. I mean, that's white, isn't it? Yeah. So, and voila, it's now looking like aluminium. There's the other bad boy. Yeah, so it gives that alloy kind of vibe to it, even though it's plastic, ABS, whatever. So it's quick and it's really funky, and you get a nice effect from it. And it also, with these straps as well, it gives it like that grounding dirt kind of vibe, you know, which is quite cool. It gives a little bit of a shine to the material, as if it's old and dirty. But that'll be my which are attached to these little things. I'll do the same with that. I might just dunk that in and give that a rub. Bosh, there we go. And this can be lacquered as well afterwards, just, you know, but once you rub this in properly, it's not going to come out. A lot of people use this stuff for like the Mandalorian helmets to get that vibe, but I think they use like the helmet's actually sprayed in gloss satin black, and then they rub it, and that's what gives you that vibe of the like the Mandalorian helmet, that kind of metal, alien metal, whatever it is. But there we go. It looks funky. It looks a lot better than that side. With me, kind of looks like that old, you know, World War II type. A lot of the German, I can't remember, I can't even pronounce them, clips. But the colouring of it, if you know what I mean, it's not far off it. Those sorts of things. Yeah, and it doesn't really matter. So like there, you've got this chip of the original colouring. It doesn't really matter, because once you stick this stuff on it and give it a rub, it kind of blends in and gives you some sort of, yeah, it's cool. It's cool. So that's that bit. So I'll crack on with that, and wear gloves with this, because this stuff's a bugger. Gets right into your pores, and yeah, it takes a while to get off. Right, cheers. Right, what I'm doing with this piece now, I've given it a really light coat of white paint. Stuck it on the heater just to get it to dry off sort of quickly, and it's only a thin layer of white paint that I've done, and I've just got like a sanding sponge, so all the edges, I'm literally just, because it's rubber and it's paint, it's going to come off quite easy with this, so I'm just going to highlight all of those edges, so it gives you this kind of distressed look. It's a bit time consuming, but, and you know, you've got to get in the nooks and crannies as well, but it's quite effortless once you sort of find your own little technique of getting in there. So yeah, I'm going to continue doing that all over it, like you do. And once this, I'm happy with the distressing on that, I will start adding some, say, acrylics to it, to the bits of white, like adding acrylics on, and then just wiping it straight off again, if you like. I'll just give a little demo. I'll just stick some on my finger. So it seems a bit harsh, but it's basically just the stain the actual paint, you know, and I can add, because it's acrylic, I can add a little bit of water to it, and really sort of rub that back off again, just to give it some sort of, yeah, vibe. Just to give it some sort of colour, you know. Yeah, yeah, I'll probably go like a lighter colour than that. I've got some, yeah. And these pieces here, I'll sort of do some acrylic imitation rusting to, you know, disguise some of these screws and bits and bobs. Yeah, I'm happy with the tank, with the colour of it. Obviously just stress this off a little bit, and so that's the plan for that. So I shall crack on with this bit just to get this ready. And like I say, I'm doing all of the side that you're not going to see as well, just in case, because yeah, it just bugs me knowing that if I haven't done that, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I'm going to crack on with that, and then once that's done and it's kind of dried off, I'll hit that with some lacquer just to kind of seal it, and then I'll add the rusting to it and some more distressing using acrylics. But yeah, so that's where I am so far. So it's quite a good technique because it's rubber. It's quite easy to highlight all these edges, that kind of thing. You can take the shine off. I think it's gloss white, this one. I haven't got any matte white at the minute, I've used it all. But it takes that shine off as well, which is cool. It's just random. I'm just randomly just attacking it from, yeah, different angles just to stress the actual paint out. So, yeah. So the actual paint itself looks just on it. Okay, and it's all these little bits inside here you really got to get in there and do the business to keep the story flowing, you know. And the cool thing with these, you know, the pieces that I do make for, you know, certain people and stuff like that, it's, I always leave a little bit of space for them to add their story, you know. It's good to use it as like, you know, okay, you've got the base piece now, add your own story to it, you know. There might be certain sort of wasteland tribes or post-apocalyptic groups or something that have got their own kind of colours, insignias or what have you. Then it's, you know, so a lot on there they could have something like an emblem of their thing, their tribe or what have you, or you can put your own descales and that stuff on it. I like to leave bits, so because you're obviously creative at the same time, aren't you, really? If you're going to be wearing this sort of stuff, you've got that kind of mindset, so it just, yeah, gives you the opportunity to do something funky. Oh, I can't see. Let's have a look. Can I? Oh, dodgy camera. No, I'll do it properly once I've done it. Latest.